Hello. Hello and welcome everybody. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Hope you're all having a lovely day today. And, well, thank you for the raid. I just noticed. I'm a bit slow. Anyways, Luminaria Rain, thank you so much for the raid and welcome everybody. You were also doing a Meteor run for Final Fantasy 5, I imagine. Nice. I hope you're having a lovely day with that time. Good. Okay, my English is questionable today, but that's alright. Anyways, welcome everybody, but hope you're all having a nice day today. Hello, good luck run. Thank you so much, Hellmaker. Welcome to you as well, once again, Luminaire Rain. Welcome to you as well, Hoppy the Fool. Welcome to you, Getzio. Good morning, and welcome to anybody else who might have joined us. Welcome back to Final Fantasy 5. Auto Fiesta with a pretty decently strong team, probably. Although, some... oh wait, you can't even see that. Where is the thing? There it is. There we go. Hello, welcome back. Let me just restart the timer. As usual, I'm not really doing a speedrun here, but I like having a timer run in case people wanna continue watching at some later point in time, so they know where I am at. We have just arrived at basically the last bastion of World 2 here, and we're about to ascend. Thanks to Mystic Knight and White Mage, and actually quite a bit of passive help from the Monk right now, we do have a decently strong team that, despite being relatively low level, can probably push through this without too much trouble. Probably. I'm actually not entirely sure. Anyways, well, let's see how that's gonna do. Your English was also questionable today. Yeah, there's these kinds of days, aren't there? Yeah, hello, Hoppy. It's going quite well. Hope you're doing well today. Alrighty, moving on into the next section here. I'm actually not entirely sure on how much I should be fighting along the way, because sure, we could use the experience, but we also don't necessarily need it, and technically, later down the road, it's going to be a lot easier to fight things. We could, however, take down most of these enemy parties without too much trouble, thanks to Breakblade of our Mystic Knight and our Punching White Mages, because, well, we happen to have a Monk in our team, and what else are the White Mages gonna do anyways? Oh yeah, right, we have a bit of evasion. Probably should have focus fired on one of them. Tusk, I think, inflicts blind status, and also apparently we do not survive 2 hits of Tusk, so that's a bit of a concern. Anyways, Breakblade, because it guarantees inflicts the petrification status, will just one-shot any enemy that is not immune to this, and it just so happens that, well, there's basically no enemy that is immune to this. Although I just realized I did not go and restore my MP. And we're at the entrance, we can briefly backtrack to the healing fountain. Anyways, I was thinking this should knock them out, it does. This guy probably is gonna survive, but we have fairies to take care of the Twin Lizard. The Twin Lizards are weak to ice, the wolves are weak to fire, but everybody is weak to petrification too, so that's much easier. Wow, you actually hit. Blind reduces your chance to hit by 75%, but I didn't feel like it was worth my time to use an item in combat, so I just attacked anyways. Alrighty, let's go back down real quick, because I noticed Kryl here had relatively low maximum, well, MP remaining, and there just so happens to be a very conveniently placed healing sprint in the middle of the castle at the ground floor, so full healing. So yeah, we can take down all of these enemies. It's actually a strong consideration that maybe I would want to have 2 Mystic Knights, because we have Mime, or Mimic, as our last, well, as our job class. We can't currently access that one, not until World 3. So effectively, right now, I can choose which one of the job classes I want to have a duplicate of, if you will. So, what is your final party? You're a little ahead of where you are. Yeah. My final party is actually Mystic Knight, Mime, White Mage, and Monk. So effectively, I have a pretty decently strong core with Mystic Knight and White Mage. They don't have necessarily much in the way of synergy with each other, just intrinsically anyways. However, they are both just very powerful classes in their own right. Like, White Mage is an incredible support with Shell and Protect, as well as Blink, just negating so much damage. And Mystic Knight will solve a lot of encounters purely by just hitting an enemy's weakness as either status effect, in this case Petrification, or it will hit their weakness elementally, so to speak. Mystic Knight does fall a little bit short whenever there's an enemy that doesn't have anything particular that they're weak to. So it's just going to be a regular knight in the front row trying to deal damage, which I suppose is mostly fine. Thanks to the monk's barehanded ability that I put on the Mystic Knight, our Mystic Knight, currently Ferris, actually does get the strength bonus from the monk. So normally Mystic Knight have just, you know, above average strength, but that strength gets significantly boosted and the physical damage enhanced thanks to putting barehanded. Even if I'm not punching with a Mystic Knight, it's still really good. You're not so far, but you're the Moogle village. I mean, that's quite a decent bit in. You're already involved too. Nice. What is your team, if I might inquire? What did you get so far? Yeah, Mystic Knight and White Mage. You don't technically need any other job class in order to beat the game with. These two are just kind of covering more or less everything. However, Monk is kind of nice in that it does deal... Well, it does allow us to deal much better damage than we otherwise would be able to. It does kind of fall off right around here in terms of being particularly strong, I will argue, because you kind of need to keep up with leveling up the monk in order to increase your melee strength with it, since you can't equip a weapon, so your strength comes all from levels. Bird is the word. You got Dancer, White Mage, Bard, and Beastmaster. You got so lucky, OP and Beraga, nice. White Mage and Bard, that's a extremely potent combination for just supporting, nice. Dancer, I guess. That's a very interesting team, I will say. I really enjoy having a Beastmaster because it allows you to just, well, deal with so many enemies relatively easily. Also, I probably should move my guys to the back row. Again, maybe I should have another Mystic Knight. These things have 2900 HP, they are weak to wind, but there's also not really much of a reason for my frontline guys to attack, because Ferris is going to one-shot that. So that's that. Also, might as well equip the Magouche on Ferris for the additional 25% chance to block physical attacks. It's not like I'm going to use it anywhere else. White Mage and Bard for ultimate Blink stack, yes. Blink is amazing for so many encounters. Beastmasters are broken, you feel like? It is your first time playing the class. Nice. Beastmaster rewards knowledge and being diligent about figuring out what kind of things you can go and catch. If you're willing to put in the time, Beastmaster is amazing for just solving a lot of encounters. It's really nice. It's a bit like Blue Mage in the sense that I will say you kind of need to figure out how to use it properly in order for it to be especially useful, but when you do, it's great. Alrighty, sure, we fight this one. I think that Reflect Mage is not in the back row, so we should hopefully deal full damage to it. I'm actually not sure about this encounter set. Okay, we deal full damage to it. I love my punching White Mages, it's so good. Monkey is kind of nice in that when you put an ability like barehanded onto a White Mage that normally has terrible strength, you just gain the full strength from a monk with all of the White Mages too, which just makes them so much easier to use here. Also, the Twin Lizard only attacks every other turn, so Ferris is going to knock it out before it gets to me. So it can heal outside of battle, which is slightly more efficient. Oh, we get an elixir, that's nice. The Magic dragons have a rare drop chance for elixirs. Flail has been your friend on White Mage early game. You have to do Liquid Flame on 4 White Mages and Shiva too. Oh... yeah, that would take a while. At least you didn't have to deal with Biblos with just White Mages. As I understand it. Because you got Dancer, White Mage. Actually, you kind of had to, didn't you, with Bard? Or did you get Beastmaster first? Anyways, Biblos with just White Mages is even worse. So, good thing you don't necessarily have to deal with that. Alrighty, so we can... So here's the awkward part. We could fight this encounter here, but these red rabbits here, they like to revive their allies whenever you knock them out. We can technically use Mute Blade to silence them, but they will... well, just take a while to knock out. I don't think that encounter is worth my time. This one, on the other hand, that's quite interesting. I think these warlocks have a decent amount of health, but I think 2 rounds of attacks hopefully knocks them out. As long as they don't train me here, or confuse. Fire up. Well, how convenient. Fairies is gonna get healed. So these warlocks are also not immune to petrification, so down you go. And the warlock decided to skip his turn twice. How convenient. I could attack the Reflect Mage, but we don't knock it out with 2 attacks, so Ferris will just finish it off here. You got Beastmaster 3rd and bar 4. Alrighty, nice. Kinda got a good draw then with Beastmaster. Beastmaster, especially in the early game, if you're willing to put in the time, it's so nice for throwing bears at enemies, maybe some instant death shenanigans if you want to use those. Oh hey, look! Enemies. And they are already petrified, so let's help them not be petrified anymore by throwing a gold needle at them, which happens to instantly kill them, very convenient. They are also really fast, so our White Mage and monks are much slower than this thing, so they don't get to move before. Mystic Knight is so neat as well because it has weirdly high speed for whatever reason. I think I'm gonna move you guys to the back row. Trial is White Mage level 5. What was the maximum? 6? Or was it 5? We could turn her into a Mystic Knight for the time being, but with this team right now, the end goal is going to be just having white magic on everybody, because there's not really anything else to put on the characters for the most part. Right, break. Then gold needle for you. You had to use that, nice. It's so nice when you just have a good solution for Biblos, because that guy can be such a nuisance otherwise. And yeah, you experience the slow side of the White Mage, but now that you manage to trudge through it, you also get to enjoy the really crazy amount of healing and support it can provide, which is nice. We gain some more levels. White Magic level 4 for butts. So, oh, I already picked it up. I didn't move from the spot because I went back to accidentally. Wait, it's force of habit. Oh well, it's fine. Drain. Ha, it missed. Drain does have a chance to hit, but because I equipped my White Mages at least with their latest armor set, they have, I think, at, what is it, baseline 24-ish% chance to just straight up resist any chance to hit abilities. This one on the other hand is a bit annoying. But I guess we have Ace enough to cure. Normally you just punch your ally in order to have them not be confused anymore. But Since I have barehanded equipped, it would actually deal quite a significant amount of damage to Ferris. I suppose I could equip the healing stuff, that also knocks her out of confusion. Notably, you'd kind of want to knock out these Black Warlocks as not the last enemy, generally, because if they get a turn while there's only one Black Warlock remaining and nothing else, they will just kind of cause Doom, X-Zone, and other kind of instant death shenanigans that we definitely are not immune to. Nice dodge. I put the Elven Mantles onto my white mage just because, well, I have them in the front row just punching. So a 1 in 3 chance to dodge physical attacks is quite nice. Confuse. Trial might actually get a turn before the others. That would be very inconvenient. Healing stuff. Yep. I guess Deeper counts as a hostile spell, so Crowd just randomly chose one of the offensive spells, quote unquote, and Leaper at our own character. So funny. Yeah. Confusion is different from Zombie, where they also occasionally use spells. Alrighty. I missed. Can I petrify these guys? If not, this is gonna be a bit of a problem potentially. I hope I can petrify them. Actually, I should have equipped the knife with fairies, otherwise, if we deal any damage to these things, this could be a huge problem. Okay, good. You can petrify them, because if you deal damage to them, like HP damage, they will counterattack with Moonflute, berserking your entire party. And that means they would just do physical attacks for the rest of the days. Ah, I missed again. Also, this is a Wazo Rare, I just realized. This is not the Garkimasra. Never mind. This is not the dangerous one. Confused, don't hit tags. Rude. I think Butts has the healing stuff equipped right now. And there we go. Do we try again? It's just money in those chests, effectively. Technically I don't need to pick them up. And the Game Boy Advance version in particular has the bridge go way too fast. I actually have no idea whether Garkimasras would be a problem or not. I guess we get some extra ability points. There we go, that one. That's the Ice Brand. I think that one sells for a lot more than the Katana on the right side. Oh, Jackanapes they are called in this one. Not Garkimasra. Well, should I hedge my bets? Nah, it'll be fine, surely. Let's see. One shot? Oh, if you hit anyways. Daggers are nice in that they cut enemies' evasion in half, so you don't have to worry as much about missing, but, well, if an enemy has a lot of evasion, there's still a decent chance. Alright, never mind, Fairies has this handled, no problem. There we go, got him. Kotetsu, we don't have a samurai, so this is just money for us. And our save point. Just gonna use a tent to recover all HP and probably most of the MP that we used at this point. Now, we get into the Dragon Room, or what I like to call the Dragon Room. It doesn't have exclusively dragon, but it has a lot of them, and some of them can be rather sketchy to deal with, like this blue dragon here. So, I'm actually gonna exchange Ferris' shield, the flame shield, for the ice shield to absorb ice damage with a brick sword, and then we hope we don't get murdered. Atomic Ray, that deals fire damage, and frost. This is why we equipped the ice shield. The... oh, you survived. That's impressive. Oh, never mind. The HP leaks there knocked us out. Alrighty. Oh, I can't exchange your shield. Oh. If I exchange Ferris' shield right now, I wanna knock out the blue dragon with Great Blade. But if I exchange her shield... Oh, that's awkward. Don't atomic ray me, please. Nice block. Alright, now we can exchange the shield. Because if I exchange the shield, it will actually count for... removing my elemental blade, so to speak. These things deal decently strong damage with physical attacks, so let's exchange our weapon. What's my best weapon here? I think it's still the greatsword, isn't it? These guys are also weak to ice, so Blizzaga sword it is. Excuse me. So I could move to the front row to deal full damage, but I'm not worried about his atomic rays anymore because we have the flame shield, which is gonna get healed instead. And I'm more worried about his physical attack dealing a lot of damage to us. So this is actually one of the rare encounters. Actually might be the rarest encounter in this room. Also the Red Dragon, by the way, has 7,500 HP, so this will take a bit. But we should be mostly safe here. As long as it doesn't go with like 10 physical attacks in a row, we most likely will win here. I actually thought the Ice Dragon would be potentially dealing a lot more damage with its Frost Breath, but it chose to use Blaze instead. On the bright side, well, we get the experience from this encounter. On the not so bright side, it's just going to be on Ferris. Which, to be fair, as our resident Mystic Knight, she's going to arguably help us the most, I suppose. I'm gonna equip the Ice Shield in case... Actually, no, the Flame Shield makes more sense. I was gonna say in case we get into an encounter with... Not these guys. I don't think they are susceptible to Break Blade. I'm pretty sure you can't Break Blade these days. He also not having any elemental weakness, but Rain Sword should work reasonably well. Did I ever buy a diamond helmet for Ferris? I should have if I didn't. The diamond helmet would reduce lightning damage by half. No, it didn't. That is 25% of our max HP gone. But thanks to Rain Sword, we should not have any trouble. We could try to run away instead. But, I mean, I take some extra experience on my Mystic Knight, I suppose, even if it takes a while. Ow. Maybe we do run away instead. Run away while trying to deal damage, I suppose. I didn't realize that his physical attack might actually almost one-shot us. There we go, we got away. Okay, we should be able to make it back here. Revive everybody with tents. I could have used Phoenix Downs, but I'm stingy. In the end, I will have plenty of Phoenix Downs anyways. Maybe I should have just used them. Anyways, should have bought a diamond helmet for the lightning resistance, but I didn't. Too late. No, back in here. The single red dragon is significantly more common than the other variant, so to speak. Let's see what we find. Single red dragon. This is why I moved Ferris to the front row, so she can immediately start Blizzaga blading. I think we mostly survive an atomic ray on Lena probably. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use Shell on Trial, Lena, and... Oh, you don't have... Yeah, you don't have it. Yep, go front row. That's fine. We're gonna use Shell for you, because Shell reduces all magic damage by half. So they will survive an atomic ray, and then we can just heal back up right after. There we go. Casual 2000 damage from Ferris there. There we go. Now we have to heal up Curaga. Might also want to give Lena Protect for Ferris maybe too. Maybe I don't even need Lena in the front though. Also, by the way, these things are undead, so the healing stuff still deals damage, which is kind of funny. Counterattacks. You know, if Lena keeps attacking like that, she will actually make a bit of a dent, I suppose. I suppose Blink is better than Protect in this scenario, since the battle is not gonna last long enough. I don't know why I always default to Protect. Probably just because it's available early game and it never runs out. So it's more convenient to set up and just forget about it afterwards. But it does make more sense to just use Blink for individual hits, to just entirely negate them. Money. Alrighty. Next up, we get into encounters with potentially 3 blue dragons. So we're going to exchange our shield for the ice shield for Ferris. Move her to the back row, give her the Magos for additional physical defense. And then we walk over the lava. We don't have a way to easily cure... not cure. Survive through the lava, but we kind of mostly do. Alrighty, so we don't really have a way to deal with these guys efficiently, do we? I'd rather just try to run away. But running away from this encounter is always a bit of a chore, if you will. I'm pretty sure we cannot petrify these guys. I mean, I might as well try. While we can't run away anyways. Ow. That's fine. Lena just responds in kind. Makes sense. Oh, we got away. Before I could try. Maybe I should have just waited at that point. To see if Break works, but I'm pretty sure Break does not work against yellow dragons. Money. Alright. Every few steps I like to just go ahead and heal up. Just in case we get into encounter with a back attack and something rather dangerous like yellow dragons. Are very inconvenient. Break blade. Move these guys to the back row so they take half damage from physical attacks. Since I don't really plan on fighting these. Right. Let's see, I'm pretty sure this doesn't knock them out. Yeah, it doesn't. If you have a Beastmaster, you can control them and they are easy pickings. Because they have Hurricane as an ability that you can use against them, and that's just really effective. Oh, interesting. I'm pretty sure we can Break Blade all of these guys. And thanks to being preemptive, we actually don't have to worry about these enemies going before we go. Which is nice. Just gonna wait and let Ferris handle this. And knock out the front guy first. Goodbye. If you have a thief in your party, you can try to steal a rare steel Judgment Staff from the Black Warlock, which you can use in order to cast Dispo as an item. It doesn't break either if you use it, I believe. Alternatively, you can get the rare drop from the Warlocks directly, which is a Power Staff, which berserks the character that gets hit by it. And Berserk in this game, if an enemy is not immune to it, it will guaranteed land. Alrighty, we made it to basically the top. This room here is significantly less dangerous than the previous ones, so we should be largely fine. Bit more money. And one more enemy for the road, I guess. Actually, it's probably gonna be a bunch more. But that's alright. We could skip Gilgamesh, but we don't do that here. But we also don't really have a good way to deal with Gilgamesh, so it's gonna be a bit awkward. But it'll be fine. Alrighty, use a tent to recover MP and HP. We could go out of our way to the side room in the next area to pick up a partisan for a bit more money, but yeah, it's fine, we don't need it. It's empty. If you open up chest, you're going to encounter Gilgamesh. If you don't open the chest, you don't. That's literally all there is to this. So we kind of want to have everybody start in the back row except for Ferris, who is just going to start attacking the greatsword. She doesn't have an accessory because, well, I never got another one, I guess. Lena... I think you two can just start attacking immediately. That's gonna be fine. Alrighty. So this is Gilgamesh. He has 13,000 HP in this encounter. Well, effectively 13,000. Technically it's a lot more, but practically it doesn't matter unless you have a Beastmaster to use a 25% max HP damage move. And he is mostly just really annoying in this battle. That's kind of his modus operandi, if you will. He's just annoying. Drain Blade is the only weapon that does anything in this encounter, but oh well. So, my main objective is going to be to shield our characters with Shell. Shell reduces the chance to hit spells by half. And the reason why that's important is because this guy loves to use Discord and all sorts of other very debilitating status effects, but with Shell we have at least a 50% chance to resist these abilities. Probably more in the case of the more, well, or the less accurate abilities, if you will. He's also very fast in this encounter, so he will get to slap us probably one more time. Maybe I should have healed Lena instead. So I think he gets 2 turns for our white mage hitting one. Varys turns into a frog. I mean, it's very fair. Also, the crackling is on my end, and I don't know why it happens. Sorry about that. Hey, Falfon, welcome to you. Hope you're doing well today. So, what we can do now is we can actually Berserk Lena. Probably should heal her. Actually, skip her blink instead. And this way, she will deal 50% more damage. Maybe blink is not good on the monk because that means they don't get the counter attack. Anyways, Drain Blade coming in handy, just healing up Ferris for free. Then we're also going to Berserk Ferris for the 50% damage boost as well. And then we just have our 2 white mages supporting from here on out. We're gonna blink on Ferris so she doesn't take any damage. And again, it doesn't really matter if Ferris gets hit or not, to be completely honest. So I probably shouldn't even worry about that part. And we have 50% increased attack power, which actually often results in more than 50% more damage, thanks to how the defense calculation works with Berserk. Alrighty, then we're going to move you to the front row actually, so you can start helping as well. Flash, he hit almost everybody. No, that's a 75% chance to miss. Blasters with Ferris are removed. And you're going to just give yourself blink. Hurricane, that would be critical HP, but chance to hit does not apply. Time Slip, that is old and sleep at the same time. We do have a way to deal with it actually. Normally this is kind of a death sentence for a character that tries to use the brawl ability like monks, because the stats you lose are dramatic, and unlike the Pig Streamers, you do not regain your stats after you cure the old status effect, so those are just gonna stay lost. Right, in this case, Berserk you as well. Then we just have Kryl in the back row here, protecting everybody with her spells. And if he had more dangerous attacks, this might be a dangerous proposition to have only one character that I can control, but well, he's not that dangerous. Let's remove the mini status, that does reduce our chance to— oh shoot! I forgot about the part where I equipped the healing staff on Butts. Oh, that's very inconvenient. And I don't have a way to dispel his Berserk. Oh, that's so silly. I have to hit him and try to knock him out. Alright, Ryder's going to miss, doesn't she? I guess Lena and Ferris will out-damage the healing, but that's just silly. Time slip. Wrong guy. Remove the time slip. Sleep and all status. Discord. This is what would be... So normally when you get hit by Discord, it halves your level, which means you deal about half the damage for a lot of cracked chop classes. However, that is not true for monks. You deal significantly less than half. It's like a quarter at most, because your level both determines your attack power and your attack multiplier. For most characters, only the attack multiplier that you end up losing. But yeah, for monks this is really bad to get hit by Discord. This is why I give everybody a shell. Let's remove the sunglasses from you, so we can try to start hitting Rom. Hey Pontocon, welcome to you, hope you're doing well today. Also, welcome as well for Lord Kaiser. We're having a lovely day as well. Oh, we just win already. Alright. Now he's just going to have a few lines of dialogue. And you actually still hit, that's impressive. Also, Kryl removed her sunglasses. Gilgamesh did not approve of that. It's kinda funny, the one guy that doesn't have sunglasses is the guy that can't miss anyways, because the healing staff can't miss. I don't think we can knock him out of his talking phase, if you will, so it'll probably be fine. Hey, wanna buy some sunglasses? Indeed. Welcome as well to your site, hope you're doing well today. Wow, Ferris keeps hitting anyways. Now if I'd like men, and ladies who dress like me. For Gilgamesh, it's morphing time. I don't know if you know this, Greg. My goodness. Ferris keeps hitting anyways. But we have some angry people in our ranks here. Normally you could just stop attacking at this point, there's no reason to deal any more damage. But can't really do that when we have Berserkers in our team. Until, I suppose, X-Death interrupts the fun. Oh, Ferris wants to get one more hit in. Not today, I suppose. Yeah, yeah. Goodbye. Into the X zone you go. Or void. Victory? Question mark. When we get the Excalibur. This thing has 100 attack power. But if you attack with it, it does 1 damage. Now the peculiar thing about that thing is that it always deals 1 damage, no matter what. Which does have very niche uses to deal exactly 1 damage. For example, you can knock out one of your allies out of confusion or sleep. So that can be marginally helpful. It's a very niche thing though. Anyways, breakblade for you. Then I think we just wait. Confuse. He missed. Oh nice. Confuse again. Missed again. Oh nice. I guess there's not really a reason to move you into the back row. I was gonna move Lena to the back row, but these guys never attack with physical attacks anyways, unless you berserk them. Which I suppose we could do. But then it's fine. I don't remember what they do turn 2. It's really useful to the Beastmaster when they catch the 4 HP enemy in the void. I think they actually only have 3 HP, don't they? Maybe it's 4, maybe I'm wrong. But yes, exactly that one. And boom, there we go. How close are we to levels on the characters? Ferris is of course going to be far ahead of everybody. Actually, one more good encounter or 2 will give us a level. And then we are probably going to be ready to fight the big guy. Which I expect this to be reasonably doable, but not particularly fast. Although we can berserk our melee fighters if we want to. The downside, of course, is that X-Dev loves to use Dispel magic. Whenever he gets hit by physical attacks, he has a chance to use Dispel as a counter attack. So that's a thing. How strong is your air knife? It's only 1 attack less. We're actually gonna use the air knife on Ferris. This is technically slightly weaker than the greatsword, but for one, daggers sometimes give you extra attack damage anyways because of the weird damage formula they have. So it can sometimes be just outright be more damage than swords, even if they have slightly less attack power. But also, it cuts enemies' evasion in half, which is exactly what I'm looking for the next encounter afterwards. So I think that's better. Also, as you can see, this is the nature of letting this guy get an attack off while he's the only enemy remaining. Maybe this would have been the time to berserk him so he couldn't do that. Because enemies that are berserk only ever do physical attacks, nothing else. They can't even react to your attacks anymore. Let's get one more encounter. I think we can get encounters here, I think. God's Black Arm, thank you. Thank you kindly for 53 months of support. Welcome back for quite a long time. And I'm glad you enjoy your stay. Hope you're doing well. Back attack. How rude. But it's okay. Because this is going to give us the levels on the other characters, and then you're ready to punch a guy that may or may not be a tree. Berserk enemies can cast hit really hard though. Yes, they can cast punch. There we go, we gained the levels and we're ready to rumble and tussle. So, I'm starting off everybody in the back row here. Also Mystic Knight. Technically we are kind of sort of done with leveling Mystic Knight here. Because there's not really much of a point in increasing our Mystic... Well, for the purpose of equipping abilities, level 6 Spellblade is as high as it gets. Level 6 Spellblade user will be able to use everything, but because we have Mimic, we actually want to master the subclasses, so we're gonna go for the long 400 ability point grind on Ferris here for that. On the other hand, white magic mastering doesn't really matter, because the only time that would matter is if we actually use magic, and well, we only have white magic, and if we put white magic on a character, then we get the magic power anyways. So we don't need to master that for our mine. What stats does Spellblade transfer? Strength and, weirdly enough, magic power, even though Mystic Knights have literally just like baseline magic power, like 24. Which I suppose technically increases the monk's magic power if you equip it on the monk. Hey Dracorius, welcome, hope you're doing well today. Okay, do I want to do anything here? Honestly, I think this might be the time where we move the elemental from our white mages here. Sure, you can have a Morningstar. Over to Ferris, because we will have her in the front row. And while we will be using Blink to negate most of the attacks, we will also get hit by X-Dev's counters, which is going to be dispelling us quite a bunch. Aside from that, we could technically move the monk job onto another class, so our monk would have access to using the higher level white magic spells as well, but I think that's gonna be alright. We don't necessarily need that. Although we could also use the unusual ability of Focus. Focus energies for a hit with twice the attack power. Again, you spent 2 turns attacking once for double the damage, so why not just attack twice? This has a very niche use in this version of the game, because it also reduces the chance for X-Dev to counter-attack with Dispel, because you only attack once instead of twice. So we might actually be using Focus here for once, which is really weird. But then again, if I'm going to Berserk Lena anyways, then that doesn't really matter too much, does it? We could turn a second character into a Mystic Knight instead of 2 white mages. That might actually be the play for this encounter here, now that I think about it. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's correct here. Let's have Kryl be our second Mystic Knight for now, because she has higher level white magic already learned. So she'll be able to use that to great effect, probably. You do not equip the Bone Mill. I don't have equipment for a second Mystic Knight. It's fine, we're gonna use Blink anyways. That's so silly. I didn't really consider the part where I might want to have more than one at a time. Alrighty, our monk and white mage are gonna be mostly supporting in this scenario here. Actually, in this case, then I might as well want to shuffle them. Yeah, well, let's go this way instead, sorry. We're gonna turn Lena into the Mystic Knight instead. Give her white magic, so she has baseline white magic abilities. Then we're gonna turn you into the monk instead, because you're going to be mostly focused on supporting rather than doing anything else. You don't need an elemental. The occasional counterattack might be helpful. And you get stuff. You get the air knife. You do not get a bone nail. Right, I like this better. That way we will have higher level white magic on our monk. We have a second Mystic Knight to attack with, because I don't really plan on attacking with my monk in this scenario because of the counter attack dispel chance. Monks punch twice, by the way, so there's twice the chance of counter attacks with dispel, which could be disaster. So that's why I'm kind of leaning into the monk being the more supportive role here. Also, by the way, if you play the Pixel Master, Chakra, or like the double focused attack, whatever it's called, does also have another use because it deals full damage from the back row. So you can sit in the back row and still deal full damage with your monk, which is actually quite nice. Alrighty. First turn, X-Dev has a 1 in 3 chance to do a physical attack, which is what he did, and a 2 in 3 chance to use Doom, putting a timer over our heads, and eventually knocking us out with it. So, because we have white mages and they're great for survivability, so give you shell, half damage from both physical and magic damage now for you, and you get actually gonna get blink as a priority, because the vacuum blade this guy throws out deals massive damage, and I think our white mages might not survive it. Reverse polarity, that's a chance to hit thing, and it only hit 2 characters, which is convenient because while I'm trying to set up here, I would prefer if I didn't have to move back and forth in the road. This is also why it is not necessarily advisable to berserk a character in this battle here, because you won't be able to move your berserker from the back row to the front row and vice versa. Right. Protect and shell for both you. You have blink. He doesn't care being in the front row, or about being in the front row for now, so that's good. Then we're going to give you shell, half magic damage taken. Gravity. We resisted it. Shell reduces all chance to hit spells by at least half. So we have at least a coin flip chance to resist that, which is nice. Protect on you just in case, I guess. Then, because Riley is not at full HP, throw a potion. Then shell for you. Then you get blink as a priority. We will also cast protect, because why not? Nice dodge. And dodging actually does prevent your image or blink charges from being drained as well, which is very nice. So then we have time to move fairies into the front row and start dealing damage. This guy has 32,768 HP, which is, you know, a lot, to say the very least. But that's okay, because we can deal damage with it. We're actually gonna use fairies as a berserker to deal damage as a priority like that. We're gonna cast blink on you, so Lena can also start moving to the front row now. And I might just use Rain Blade on her as well, because why not? Alrighty. First hit, and immediately Dispel. I think it's a 1 in 3 chance for him to cast Dispel whenever he gets hit. So, as a priority for our frontline characters, we need Blink. And we do need Shell again. Protect is just nice to have in case Blink runs out, but it's not a priority, if you will. And you know what, might as well Drain Blade. He doesn't have any elemental weakness we can take advantage of, unless we were willing to save our 4 Steves of Light. Also, he has like, what, a 20% chance to dodge physical attacks, which is why we use daggers. They reduce the chance to dodge by half. Right. By the way, you can actually have more than 2 blink charges. You can have at least 3. So casting blink on a character that lost 1 charge will immediately give you more. Alrighty, and with this we are largely set up, so I guess we berserk Lena as well. I guess we might as well, right? Yeah, we don't get to cast a Reflect with her either way. Although, I don't know, I feel like it's more correct to not berserk here. In fact, maybe it's more correct to only attacking with 1 character to begin with. Because if I slow down the battle, we are taking more hits from the various abilities and spells sequence. This is supposed to be really awkward. Oh, Fairy's level is divisible by 3. Okay, we always need to reflect her. Oh, she survived. That's a bit of a surprise. Anyways, on the last turn of his 10-turn cycle, he will cast Flare, level 3 Flare, which only his characters that have a level divisible by 3. But if you reflect it, you actually deal 1000 damage per reflect back to him. So I started casting reflect a little bit late there, to say the least, so probably should have started a bit earlier there. The downside is I can't just multi-target heal myself while we have reflect up. So that's a bit of a nuisance. Anyways, you removed your stuff, keep you blink. And Doom, that's a 2 in 3 chance on his very first turn. Shell back up. And Butts is basically just going to die after the timer runs out. And there's literally nothing we can do about that. Aside from knocking out X-Death before the timer expires, but we do not have enough damage for this. Especially if we just keep having to use this spell. Unfortunately, this spell does not remove that timer for reasons unknown. Actually, does Ezuna? Surely not. I don't assume you can remove that timer with Ezuna, can you? Anyways, because we are focusing mostly on support with most characters here anyways, I'm just gonna keep Blink up on everybody, so we don't need to worry about resetting that, do we? Anyways, we're not that far in, are we? Yeah, no. Let's actually see, I don't think this helps against the Doom counter. Wait, it does? No, it doesn't. The Doom counter disappeared because it was Butts' turn. Anyways, no real reason to heal Butts right here. Earthshaker, everybody takes a bunch of damage. Oh, Trial does not have Shell right now, I guess. Also, she's going to be out of MP soon, apparently. This spell, you know what? This spell on you is fine. The main downside is going to be if he goes down to Zombie Breath specifically, then we will need to cure the zombie status. But I think it'll be fine. There he goes. Phoenix Stone revives for more HP, so I prioritize using that instead. Then I want to both heal as well as give him Blink. Not this elixir here. Recover your MP. Oh, that's very inconvenient. I guess this is a reason to move actually into the back row here, because his vacuum wave will one-shot us. Not a disco. My goodness. Anyways. Right, you don't have the things. Go to the back row. Shell for you. The Zombie Breath can one-shot you from that range without Shell. And Blink for you. Nice dodging. Good job, Lena. Then Shell for you. Blink for you. You can see it, why it's a priority to not attack too many times. Although I was also not paying attention as to his turn counter. Anyways, I guess Ferris just survives it either way, so it's fine. So, Elixir for Trial, because she only has 10 MP remaining. Now she's back to full. And you also need Blink. You also need Blink. You know what, let's move these guys to the back row. And again, he could just use Reverse Polarity in one of his next moves here too. Which would be very inconvenient. Ah, well that works. As long as he doesn't hit Ferris, we're good to go basically. I don't remember if I already shelled up or not. No, we definitely did. Now we need to blink up again. We're also getting close to his 16,000 HP mark, I would assume. Well, actually maybe not. Maybe this is still gonna take a bunch of time. Blink and blink. Then we need to start casting Protect here. I'm gonna keep Lena's turn in case we wanna heal. Or cast Protect. Oh, she was too late. literally queued my action and he just was too fast anyways. Okay, we have to hit heal butts because Zombie Breath could be a possibility. I don't know where we are in the turn counter. Then, you would love to cast Reflect, but you don't have Reflect, so not Reflect on fairies as a priority. He has a 1 in 3 chance to not cast level 3 flare on his turn coming up. We just kind of hope he does it anyways. Lena doesn't have Protect, does she? Because I think that takes priority over Shell. Very keen. That's fine. Fairies immediately heals back up anyways. Yeah, I can't cast Protect right now because otherwise I would, well, bounce it over to XDEF, which would be very bad. I'll Reflect for you. Alright, so now theoretically this is gonna be 4000 damage bounce back. But apparently we're nowhere near that turn where he's gonna do that. So we'll have to probably cast that again. Also Dispel, of course, is just a nuisance. Potion for you as a priority. And then we just shell up. And Blink. Maybe I should have switched the order around, because I think he usually attacks physically after Zombie Breath. Not always though. This is not a difficult battle for our team, but definitely a long one. Reflect. And reflect. No, my reflects. Oh, he didn't even use level 3 flare. He could have right there. Well, actually in the previous turn he could have. He didn't. Oh well. Now Lena's gonna go down once the counter hits 0, but we'll be fine probably. Just gonna wait here. Nice dodge. Ferris just keeps working away at his HP slowly but surely. Does Reflect wear off? Oh, we are in phase 2. We don't survive. Level 3 spell. Well, we don't have to worry about some things anymore. But now Reflect actually is going to be irrelevant again. So we want to Blink and Reflect on our characters. HP doesn't really matter anymore beyond that for the most part. Well, I'm really surprised Ferris didn't get dispelled. Oh, look at that, Blink just saved us. We might as well just use an elixir anyways to heal your MP, because you'll need a bunch of MP to cast things. So, Blink has priority. So now we are in phase 2, below 16,000 HP remaining of XDEF. He's always gonna get double turns. And in his double turns, he will just continuously cast level 3 spells, which apparently one-shots our characters through Shell. So we can just Reflect, well, if he doesn't dispel it. And look, it worked. And he also can just do a physical attack as well. On average, he will do 1 physical attack and 1 spell, but he can do 2 physical attacks or 2 spells as well. Turns out I reflected the exact correct guy, how convenient. It actually would be arguably preferable if Ferris didn't attack anymore, but I think it's alright. Trial will probably survive a spell with Shell, as long as she is max HP, so let's heal her up. Can't use Cure because we have Reflect on her right now. I mean, I guess Fairies just does well. It's fine. Fire Gun. I'm not actually shelling or reflecting up Lena. Quite simply because she's gonna go down to the Doom counter in a second here anyways. In a literal second. Come on. Then we pick her back up, and now he will no longer cast Doom in phase 2 anyways, so we are going to be largely fine. So as a priority, give Blink to you. Well, I guess Protect came in handy there. And a nice counter crit. Dispel on boost. This guy, alright. So I guess we're also now at this point, there's no reason to use anything, like any offensive weapons or Magos, giving us additional 25% chance to block physical attacks. Actually, we'll most likely save Lena here for the foreseeable future. Then we're gonna give you Shell. So you do survive spells if you do get hit by them, if your reflex just happens to run out. You get Blink. Oh yeah, right, she also gets healed by fire, I forgot about that part, not gonna lie, I forgot. How very convenient. Then also Protect on you, just in case you do get hit by a physical attack. She has no defense, because I didn't buy armor for a second Mystic Knight. Right. Blizzaga. Varys actually gets healed by that, how convenient. Alright. Then Blink for you. Probably also should heal Trial as a priority soon. So let's do that. It's not quite full HP, but that's okay. I guess in the end it would have been more beneficial to me to have Lena be a second White Mage. So she would be able to cast all the spells that we want. Alright. Just reflect up everybody, so we bounce back the spells and heal with items. This is why high potions are still very valuable. We can still use them for healing effectively. He still hasn't dispelled Fairies once, which is kind of impressive in its own right. Ah, I needed to blink first in the trial. I guess she survives the physical attacks, so it's probably okay. And now we shall sit here and wait until we need to heal. He is really good at pinpoint attacking a cactus with the wrong element in this scenario here. It's actually kind of impressive. A reflect for you. Right, now everybody's reflected, I think. Until he dispels somebody again. And it's crap. Also the dodging from the shields doesn't show sometimes. When Xdev also occasionally has a chance to just skip an attack. And whenever he does, the second move for some reason doesn't like show properly as an attack. So you just see a weird kind of miss that Fairies most likely blocked with the shield or the elemental, but it just doesn't show the animation for some reason. Dispel. I mean, that's fine. Shell for you. The crime is once again low on MP. Surely this fight is not gonna last that much longer. Actually, it's probably going to still be a few minutes. Fire gun. Oh, so I guess you were not shelled that last time you got hit by that, were you? I was mistaken then. Actually, you should reflect. You throw the potion. Even the one in 16 double tapping to only reflect the character earlier. Yeah, and he, once again, ice spells on Ferris. Yeah. Admittedly, arguably, healing Ferris is less detrimental to him than getting the spell reflected, which I suppose is fair. Oh, he actually hit Ferris for damage for once. But guess what? She just heals it back anyways. And he finally hit Ferris for Dispel Magic. That's impressive that it took that long. But you know what? We're gonna just buff her back up and send her right back at it again. Normally I'm perfectly fine just sitting in the back row, reflecting all the damage back until he knocks himself out. But I'm pretty sure getting Ferris back up to Berserk status is gonna be more efficient for this because, well, I mean, it's only 1 in 3 chance for him to counterattack with this spell. Alright, and protect. Blink. Reflect. Ooh, he actually targeted Ferris for a good chunk of damage there. He's not gonna heal quite all of it, but it's probably still gonna be fine. Blink for you. Nice dodging. She does have a really high evasion thanks to 3 items that give her evasion. So she's reasonably unlikely to get hit. Also, is it a 2 in 3 chance to counterattack with this spell? Because it sure feels like it. Trial is once again out of MP. Well, Elena, can you tell us how much HP this... Alright, let's see. It's about to say, we should be pretty close to the end. There we go. Ferris did all the damage, basically. And X-Def too, thing. Are we running him out of MP? Probably not anytime soon. Although it is a potential valid strategy if you're willing to leave the console on for a day or two. If you have a team of bards just hiding. Don't forget to unequip after the cutscene, thank you. That's true. Alrighty, Lena's not gonna be with us for a while, so let's unequip her. And Ferris? Yeah, it's fine. Although we do want to have a different Mystic Knight in our team soon, but we can do this afterwards. Goodbye. Until we meet again. Alrighty. Off we go. Now, we absolutely would like to have one character be a Mystic Knight here. And I suppose Monk as a secondary is fine. So, Mystic Knight Butts for now. Gonna give you I get spear-handed. I don't think it matters what I give him. Because I plan on just... Can you Spellblade the Excalibur? I don't think you can. Anyways, we just need to avoid Krile getting discorded turn 1. And we're good to go. Hey, Chen. Nice team, thank you. It's a bit slow against XF, but also very safe. Like, there was never any danger we were in. Thanks to, like me, just tremendous healing power. Our Mystic Knight was able to just chip away at the boss's health until we eventually won. Bit of a slow one, but we eventually get there. Alrighty, so I think it's a 1 in 3 chance to use Discord turn 1, and then a 50-50 to hit Krile specifically, and then another, I will guess like 70 to 80% chance to hit to begin with. So technically the odds are in our favor. Only about 1 in 7 or 1 in 8 times we're gonna get hit by Discord, specifically on Krile turn 1. But it's always possible. That's the nature of randomness. Didn't happen this time. Actually, it's gonna get a second turn. Anyways, this guy can be put to sleep. And it just so happens that we have a way to put him to sleep with Sleep Blade. Then we put him to sleep. And he never does anything ever again. Unless we attack him with physical attacks. So what I could do here is I could just hit him with a physical attack and then immediately put him to sleep again, kind of like what we did against Optimus, but I'd like to have another coffee. So I'm gonna just put a weight onto my A button and kick, because kick does not wake up sleeping characters. And then I'll be right back as soon as I manage to put a proper weight onto my controller somehow. Hold up. How am I gonna do that? There we go. Alrighty. I'm gonna grab a coffee, so I will be back. Quick break, everybody. Alright, I'm back. Hello. What was the 5th job rule? We did not actually do 5th job for this run here. We just have the same ones the entire way through. So that means monk all the way. Or something. Sometimes just hold down the button, the turbo button in this case, and I don't pay attention to the cutscene, but I should move one step over first. Also, sometimes you go and make coffee. Then you have to empty the residue bin, or whatever it's called. You have to fill in new coffee beans, and then water, and then need to find the mug. Basically just the entire thing. Other times you can go to the coffee machine, get coffee, and you're back immediately. Today was not that day. Oh, I think we need to redistribute our jobs now, because, well, we have 3 accessible jobs with 3 characters, so one of each is... I don't think it's technically required? No, I guess it is. Anyways, back to White Mage Review. And I suppose barehanded is the only thing that actually is relevant. We have a morning star for you. Admittedly, I don't plan on attacking with you anyway, so it's probably fine to just keep that equipped. I suppose also, we could have used the morning star against XF, berserking one of our white mages. That actually arguably would have been decent damage. In fact, it probably would have been more damage than what Fairies did, just not as reliable. But because XF at the end of War 2 does have decently high physical defense, the Morningstar basically having the axe damage formula, piercing the defense of the weapon, can actually be really good. With the weapon, piercing the defense of the enemy can be really good. Sometimes my words are in the wrong order. Yes, Jaggerbot. Controller has rolled it, good job. Yes, that's exactly what Jaggerbot actually refers to. Yeah. You believe it is required here unless you actually have duplicate jobs assigned, in which case you can use them. Yeah, it makes sense. The responses end up just being very fitting. I promise you, Jagabot doesn't use any AI. It just has lucky responses sometimes. I think he was supposed to form a pyramid, or I guess a Grimer diamond. Also, I'm not entirely sure how the chances thing works. Like, if you have the word roll in it multiple times, does that individual, or does each individual word have a chance to generate a response, or is it just once per message? Who knows? Do you use AI? You're not a fan. I have no use for AI currently. If it wasn't for at least the art side of AI generated stuff, plagiarizing without permission, I would be a lot more for it. But, you know, that's the big problem. With the new Jagabot, is the food box mini up to date now? That is an excellent question. I don't know. We need to ask Wildlife for that. Maybe? I don't know if it automatically updates it. It might. Text-based AI? Again, I don't currently have any use for it. I think it's really nice when you're looking for a quick solution to a coding problem to get an idea on how you could solve it. From what I've gathered though, you always need to kind of debug on whatever the AI chatbot just kind of tells you about, because often it just doesn't really work. But again, I think it also usually gives you an idea on how you can approach a problem, so for coding I think it's pretty useful in cases. But again, I don't really have any use for it personally, so to me it's like, it exists, I guess. We can just break everything here, right, so it's fine. You think Chocobo in that last entry is a typo, unless that's one thing in the games you're unaware of. Yes, it is. Probably a typo. Let's see, which one would that be? Probably Chocobo or Moogle? Or Chocobo? We should have a Chocobo item. But I don't know what we would write for that. Let's see, Choco Milk, Chocolat. There's no Chocobo entry. Huh. So is it a Moogle? Yes, it's Moogle. Anyway. Delicious Moogle apparently. Fixed it. Oh, you literally wrote this delicious Moogle. I just assumed you got the random roll to get a Moogle. I didn't even think about checking that that's what you specifically wanted to go for. Yeah. It's a fair assumption, you mostly do random. So do I. Also, we can go and grab our chicken knife, chicken knife. Bark, 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 bark. Bark, 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 bark. So we could give the chicken knife exactly to our Mystic Knight right now. Nobody else can use it. But also we don't need it right now either. How strong is the chicken knife right now? So the chicken knife is a weapon that powers up every 2 times you run away from combat. It gains 1 attack power, maxing out the grand total of 127 attack power at most. We actually need to run away quite a bit more in order to make it much stronger. So right now it already is the strongest weapon we have. But also it's even stronger than that on top of it, because it deals full damage from strength and agility, instead of having the weird bug damage formula from agility. It actually just straight up works there. Alrighty, also these are the Gargoyles. Both of them have 5000 HP each, and when you kill one, the other one will revive the one that you just killed, if they get a turn. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna wait until one attacks, knock out the other one, and because Ferris is a Mystic Knight, is really fast, she can go before the other Gargoyle gets another turn, thanks to her higher agility than the Gargoyles, and knock it out before it can do anything. Like you just did, you always tried to pick up that mangoes that you already got into. Yeah, that happens. Look, I just really like mangoes. It might be my favorite weapon in the game. Alright, we could get another ice shield in the basement here. Do I care? I think the answer is no. Let me think for a second. Nah, we don't need another ice shield. It'll be fine. We don't really have any good way of dealing area of effect damage, so I'm just skipping everything for the foreseeable future. These guys are just individual little enemies, and I believe these snakes are undead and maybe weak to ice or fire, but they're also weak to break blades, so that's just more efficient. Also, that's kind of rare that they do that. Huh. Eventually Ferris is gonna get another turn. He really knows who the danger is in this encounter. Actually, you're undead, right? So if I use single target Curago on an undead enemy that is not specifically flagged as heavy in the code, they get the weakened status, meaning that they have 9 HP remaining or less. So this is kind of a way on how I can circumvent having to deal with dealing any damage. Just put it into critical HP and then just hit once. Anyways, this place here, I think these damned are undead enemies. I don't remember how much damage Curaga does to them though. We could put them into critical HP with single target Curaga, but I think this is more efficient. They have like I want to say it's 1900 HP on these guys. So 2 Curagas don't quite get the damage. They would be susceptible to break as well, but multi-target is just more convenient, although it does cost us significantly more resources like that. Anyways, we get another flame shield. Just the middle contains a dark matter. We don't have any use for these. We do not have a chemist in our team, and they don't sell for anything, and they are also guarded by stuff. Just on the right contains a white robe. You might think you want to use the white mage robe on the white mage, but no, you don't. You want to use the black mage robe on all your casters. Unless you're doing a solo character challenge run with a bard, then that's the only case where the white mage robe is better. Which is a bit bizarre, but that's just how it is. I guess technically... No, that's kind of the only time. Anyways, Thandaga Blade. If an enemy is weak to lightning and not flagged as heavy, Thandaga Blade will just one-shot them. So, while this thing has like, what, 7,000-8,000 HP? It is not heavy, so we just one-shot it. Just behind the sarcophagus in the middle there contains a Thornlet, which is a heavy armor that has the highest physical defense in the entire game. The downside is that you have permanent HP sap status, so you just lose HP the entire time, which is very unpleasant. Then the chest on the left contains, I want to say, the black robe, but it's also guarded by an Archaeosaur, which we don't necessarily have a good way of dealing with. I mean, I guess Flame Blade is pretty good. Let's go through here first, because we have to deal with a mini-boss. I think these mummies have like, what, 3,000 HP? I did not heal Cryo. Anyways, they're not flagged as heavy, and they're undead, so we can do shenanigans. First of all, fire a gun, it will one-shot them. And I can also try to cast Raise in one. Or use a Phoenix Step on them, that works too, if they don't resist it. Right, good enough. One done. Then we raise Cryo, and hopefully she doesn't get attacked this time. She does not have any evasion, so if she gets attacked, she will go down. Unfortunate. The thing is, this guy is most likely going to use Danse Macabre, turning a random character in our team into a zombie, including potentially Cryo when she's knocked down on... My goodness, knocked down on the floor. Poor Cryo. Gets revived, knocked down again. Gets revived, knocked down again. I'm so sorry. Let's heal her back up. Hey, JP Erics, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Welcome as well, Z:/. Thank you for the good luck. Hope you're doing well. Alrighty. She just missed us out on ability points from these. Let's go and grab the rope, shall we? Often I like to skip the items in here, because we can just buy them later in Mirage Village and it's much less of a hassle. But because we have a Mystic Knight to one-shot these mecha heads, it's pretty easy to just punch through them. And I guess we get some extra ability points along the way. Missile. That is 75% of her current HP gone, which also means it never actually knocks out a character, because damage always gets rounded down. So if you have 1 HP remaining, then it deals 0 damage. Oh wow. JP Erics, thank you! Thank you kindly for 65 months of support. Welcome back. I'm glad you enjoy your stay. Hope you're doing well today. Thank you. Ah, you paralyzed the wrong guy. Alright, run! So this is an Archaeosaur. This is where we actually want to use a proper weapon, and I think the chicken knife is as good as it gets for us right now. This thing has a lot of HP, I think it's 10,000. It is weak to fire, it is flagged as heavy, so we cannot one-shot it. It is also undead, which peculiarly means that if I use Q-Rag on it, it does nothing. Because he is heavy, which consequently means he cannot be put into critical HP, since that is a time mage, or well, gravity effect if you will, normally. So, for convoluted reasons, effectively, we can't do that. But we can use a chicken knife, so move Freddy's to the front row and start whacking away at them. I'm also using Shell as a priority, because I think he can use Zombie Breath, which is a high variance damaging move that can hit really hard. But we should be fine. Also, I just realized maybe the chicken knife is not the best idea. Because you can run away from these encounters. But as you can see, it's a lot of damage. There we go. Good job, Ferris. My goodness. How inconvenient. That's my second strongest weapon. Yeah. Very knife it is. Yeah. Oh, now it's 2. Nice. Alright, fine. We also get a preemptive strike, so it's probably okay. As usual, if you have elemental weapons on your Mystic Knight, if you switch around anything in your inventory, like exchanging weapons, or moving around items in your inventory, with that character specifically, you cancel the effect of your elemental sword. So I couldn't just equip another sword that wouldn't have a 1 in 4 chance to run away, which is what the chicken knife does. Anyways, 4 attacks it is, I guess. But at least we don't have a chance to just run away. Number 2, 2 more. And he skipped his second turn. Or was it the third one? I think it's the second, because we get the preemptive. And 1 more, probably. Poison Breath. Okay, we're fine. I thought it was Zombie Breath. I think Zombie Breath can hit much higher than Poison Breath. But it isn't. Dragon Fang. And get the Black Robe. Put it on our White Mage. There we go. I haven't actually explained as to why the Black Robe is better than the White Robe. And it's actually quite simple. The White Mage Robe has +3 magic power and +5 vitality, if I'm not mistaken. The problem with this is that vitality on equipment, for the most part, does absolutely nothing. The only thing vitality on equipment ever affects is how much you regenerate with, well, regeneration buffs, so to speak. That's the only thing vitality on equipment actually does for you. It does not give you more defense or higher maximum HP. Which is a bit of a shame, because I would often love to have a more defensive kind of piece of equipment on my mages, because damage output on the mages tends to be really good. So more defense feels like it would be more desirable to me. But again, vitality on equipment just does nothing. So unless you do a solo character challenge run with a bard that can regenerate itself and doesn't have any use for spell power for the most part, there's not really much of a reason to ever use anything but a Black Robe, even on the White Mages. Jelly, your Monday Forge of Fiesta stream crashed and burned just before this. Softlocked a snake jam in the basement. When it restarted, the app remembered it had not phone home and locked you out until you can phone home, which you'll never be able to because we will cut old Android authentication off. Well, that just stinks. See, this is why we need stop killing games, right? So we can actually play the dang games that we bought. I hope you have a solution for that, because I do not know one, unfortunately. Right, we could buy or get a crystal armor, but because we have Blink, physical defense, which is the main stat the crystal armor has, is not all that relevant to us. So I don't really care about fighting enemies here, so if the chicken knife hits, it deals really good damage. If it doesn't hit, we run away. Good enough for me. Just on the left contain stuff. I don't think she's susceptible to Break Blade, is she? Anyways, this encounter is notoriously difficult to run away from, because the Zephyr Zone is there. I don't remember. No, she's... yeah. is immune to that. A normal Chimera are very inconvenient, but I think this one can be one shot. Yep. So this Zephyr Zone has really high physical defense, so I don't really want to necessarily fight this one. Plus, we don't have Lena in the team, so she's kind of missing out on all of the experience we would be getting too, and fall even further behind. So I'd rather just try and run. So this is where the 1 in 4 chance for the chicken knife to run away is actually useful, because I don't want to fight these guys. Can I confuse this guy? Apparently. He hit himself. Good job. Do that again. The Zephyr Zone doesn't attack herself, she only summons stuff that can potentially deal a ton of damage to us. There we go, thank you Ferris. We got a new Android TV device arriving Saturday-ish, which should be good enough for authentication. That will hopefully also allow you to try and stream Dimensions. Oh nice. Hope you have a great time with that then. I still haven't tried out the options Violacard posted earlier. I forgot about them again. I need to do that today. Then again, today was a house clean. By the way, my stream started an hour late because I figured, okay, we can just do the house cleaning today instead of just putting it off for longer than necessary. Hey, we have an accessory for our Mystic Knight. We haven't had one in so long. I guess we don't need one right now. Also, we can't use ribbons, unfortunately. Anyways. The other chests I'm not opening are guarded by gremlins. Cursed ones. And our Dark Malice. Hello! Welcome to another name by Celeste, hope you're doing well. So are you required by the rules to get the mime as soon as you have access, or can you wait to do until whenever you like? I have to admit, I don't know what the rules say. No clue. I'm going to get it as soon as I can, just because I think, why not? It feels correct. But I don't know if I'm required to, if that makes sense. Also, this is where it's actually going to be extremely inconvenient that we have only one character that can use Magic Sword right now. Because Meritine, we would love to use other stuff. Like Firaga Sword. Which I guess we can spam Confuse and Firaga Sword. Yeah, that's gonna be actually relatively simple now I think about it. You looked over the rules, they don't really mention one way or another. I've personally interpreted it that way, simply because why would you enable the mime option if it was going to refuse to get it after? Yeah, I think the question might be, maybe what could be, what we might want to do, is maybe if I want to have 2 Mystic Knights to defeat Omega or Shinryu, instead of a mime, I could go and defeat them and then come back and defeat the mimes afterwards. Or get the mime afterwards, my goodness. Hello, welcome to Siegfried Watson, hope you're doing well. But yeah, in upgrade mode you are not required to ever go and upgrade this, are you? If you feel like just finishing the entire game with this first job class, you can do that if you'd like to. Anyways, chicken knife. I assume this fine. You had a void run that was thief, mime, red monk, and you made yourself to get the mime before going to the void. At which point mime got voided anyway. That's terrible. Yeah, the rules don't specify. In the end, it is supposed to be a challenge run, but it's also supposed to be enjoyable, so whatever or however you feel is the correct way to play, just play it that way. If you really don't want to deal with a thief white mage bid loss and turn one character into a freelancer for that one fight and just break a bunch of fire rods, I wouldn't blame you either. Although it is quite the journey to defeat Biblos with those two chops specifically. So it can be a story to tell. Anyways, this is Melusine, or Melusine. She has 20,000 HP, can be confused. Here we get lucky. And normally she has 4 different potential weaknesses. However, she always starts as being weak to fire, so we just do that. Confuse. I mostly use Confuse because that means she is going to spend turns effectively doing nothing, even if she just deals 0 damage to herself. So, she has absurdly high physical defense, and yes, it goes by the tradition of fantasy games, giving the least clothed female characters the highest physical defense possible. That just makes sense, apparently. And each individual form she has, you can steal that equipment, make of that what you want. Anyways, the nice thing about Confuse is also, once again, that you cannot miss a physical attack on an enemy that's confused. As you can see, Crowd deals no damage. So normally she would occasionally barrier change when you give her the opportunity, but because she keeps being confused, she can't quite do that, and Ferris decided to never try and run away with the chicken knives, making this an easy fight for us. Good job, Ferris. And the other two too, I guess, with the confusion. Alrighty, time to wake up Lena and move on. But yeah, Melusine has 4 potential weaknesses: Ice, Lightning, Fire, and Physical. Technically the physical weakness is just her having 0 physical defense. But yeah. Alright, let's get back to White Mage Trial. With bare-handed, so you can start punching things again. Unequip the healing staff, because I will forget about it. So we have 2 White Mages. They once again just gain a bunch of experience in this until we have Light Magic. I think level 5 is the maximum, isn't it? At level 5 we'll be able to cast Holy with all the characters. And Dispel Magic, for what it's worth. Although I'm not entirely sure how useful that is going to be. You need white 6 to cast Holy. Right. We are 5. We're gonna get 6. Yes. And we also need a monk in our team, so back to Trunli we go. And white magic. No bone meal for you. No need to win the front row. Mine goes for consistency because we also don't need the speed. Chicken knife also gives you 5 extra speed or well agility, which can also be occasionally helpful for turn order. Ooh. Oh yeah, by the way, thank you, I forgot about that. There's a straw poll in chat, pinned at the top. Please make sure to vote on that one to determine what we're gonna be playing next time. The options for the next game to play is Aquaria, a very old indie darling, if you will, where not a whole lot of people know about it. It didn't make as big of a splash as other indie games of the time, like Cave Story and such, but pretty much universally, anytime I hear anything about Aquaria, people just universally praise the game. And I don't really know what that's about. It looks good, but I don't really know what else there is to this. Blueprints, a mystery puzzle roguelike game, I think, with apparently a lot of depth to it. That's all I know, really. I've decided to try and not get spoiled for the most part as much as I can. Axiom Verge, a Metroidvania with more, which I believe Environmental Station Alpha is kind of in a similar vein there too. Nothing here. Cave Story, an old indie favorite. I don't really know on how that's gonna go because, well, I've never played it, although I have watched playthroughs in the distant past. Alright, we also get new spells here. Arise and Dispel. Arise is basically reviving an ally with full HP, and Dispel removing all sorts of status effects from characters, which can be useful against enemies as well as allies. The only way to remove Berserk status for us anyways. Then the next games to vote for is Fez, which I think is a very puzzly Metroidvania as well. one of those games as well that I actually managed to stay entirely blind on. I don't really know what it's about, how it works exactly. Outside of it just kind of rotating the world. That's like the one thing I know about it. I hope that's not a spoiler. Then... what else? Might and Magic X. Almaga's suggestion. As you might know, I actually have a bit of a soft spot for the Might and Magic series. Not the Heroes of Might and Magic. Having grown up on some of those games. Could I sell a gold hairpin? I mean, we can use 2 of them with the Mime and White Mage. Would I use 2? Maybe. I guess we keep them. We keep the flame shields, definitely. So I guess we just buy 2 Hermes sandals. Because Hermes sandals are without a doubt the best accessory in the entire game. Because they give you permanent haste and immunity to sleep, paralysis, stop, and slow effects. Like, it's insanely good, because you literally get twice the amount of turns with the character with the Hermes sandals. And this is our only way of getting haste on our characters to begin with, but it's also permanent, it cannot even be dispelled. And we would like to buy other stuff too, but we just don't have the money, so we'll have to get more money along the way. But the Hermes sandals are usually the big reason as to why you may want to go into Mirage Village early. Then we're gonna go for another set of detours. In fact, we're gonna grab the Mirage West too, shall we? So, going up and north to pick up some things. Do I want to pick up? Yes. I don't care about most of the legendary weapons, but I believe we actually do have a use for some of them. Also, we're gonna equip the bone mail and ferries, because we're gonna try and run away from all encounters here. There's 2 encounters possible. If the music just continues as is and doesn't change, we're always gonna get into an encounter with X-Death Soul, which is reasonably easy to run away from. But then we also have this clown. The Shield Dragon has the highest possible runaway resistance, which means it's the most difficult encounter to run away from, I think. I'm actually not entirely sure about the numbers, but I'm pretty sure it's one of the most difficult ones, if not the highest difficulty possible. And the Shield Dragons, they have 20,000 HP. And unless you have a Beastmaster, there's no reasonable way of knocking them out. They have absurdly high defense, innate reflect shell and protection status, as well as just overall high defenses on top of that. Anyways, there's a bunch of legendary weapons here. One could say there's 12 of them. We want to pick up this one, no question. This is the Sage's Staff. When we equip this on our White Mage, the White Mage can attack with it and deal 8 times damage to undead enemies. If we use it as an item in our inventory, it does not break and cast Raise as a spell, which also could be, I guess, saving us MP or something. But also, it boosts the power of Holy, the spell Holy, or well, Holy Elements technically, but there's only one. Anyways, it boosts it by 50%. And then we can't really use most of the other things anyways. Mystic Knight does not get its own legendary weapon. Monk doesn't get any legendary weapons. It's literally just the White Mage, and I guess whoever can use daggers, the Assassin Dagger is like our second best weapon. This is a decently high attack power weapon that has a 1 in 4 chance to cause Doom when you attack with it. Which is not always desirable, because sometimes you attack an enemy with Reflect and that's just reflecting Doom back at you. Aside from that, I guess we just pick up whatever weapon sells for money and leave. I guess technically we could use the Magus Rod on the Mime, which boosts all elements except Holy. But it's not like we have much of a way of casting those elements. I suppose the Magic Lamp could technically work. although it does not boost water. Also, yes, having a weapon that does not make you run away 25% of the time can be quite nice, so the Assassin Dagger does have a use for that too. Gold Hairpin has too much potential in your opinion, you don't need a 15,000 monies that badly. Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. Anyways, we run away. The extra soul in here also frequently uses a lot of forms of instant death, so Ferris once again, with the bone mill, is immune against pretty much all of these. On top of that, she also is immune to being confused thanks to the bone mill, which whenever you deal any damage to the shield dragon, it can use the ability Knock Silly, which deals a bunch of damage, but importantly also confuses your character. But with the bone mill, it's just mostly immune against anything that you can encounter in that shrine. Or castle. Or whatever that's supposed to be. Anyways, with our yellow chocobo friend, we just continue on. And pick up the magic lamp. The magic lamp is an item you can use from your inventory, in battle specifically, that casts the highest level summon, Bahamut, then goes to the second highest, Leviathan, then Odin, and then Sildra, etc. It's extremely useful because specifically the third charge of the magic lamp, summoning Odin, Odin normally has a 50-50 chance to either do a physical attack, or well, physical magic attack, or instantly kill any enemy that is not flagged as heavy. However, the magic lamp's third charge always specifically calls Odin where he instantly kills anything that is not flagged as heavy, which is extremely useful. To just, you know, kill any enemy that is not flagged as heavy. You can only do that once, realistically, because, you know, it just keeps cycling through the magic lamp's abilities. But yeah. Now the real question, are you gonna do the Mirage West lap? You might already know the answer right now. Because yes, of course. Because my best place to go and grind a bit of experience is actually going to be Iron Giants, and having a Mirage West for those is just going to be really nice. So if you do an extra lap around the entire world on the yellow chocobo, you actually gain a little extra reward. Now if you play the Pix Remaster version, I think you need to go and talk to the guy that gives you that potential reward first, and then you can do the side quest. However, in any other version, there's nothing stopping you from just running a lap around the world and then go and collect your Mirage Vest immediately. I don't know why you need to talk to the guy first over there. Actually, the reason is probably just because the remake, or well, Pix Remaster developers didn't know that you didn't need to talk to him first or something, and just assumed you had to. Anyways, we're almost there. Back to our ship. And the Mirage Vest is just nice. It's very much not required for our team because we have Might Mages to cast Blink with. But it effectively just means I don't have to cast Blink on one character at the beginning of battle, especially if those battles are very temporary anyways. Wrong place. So, then we also pick up another important weapon, the Thief's Knife. This has a decently high attack power and a 1 in 3 chance to steal attack. So this is our only way of stealing items. This guy's gonna give us the Mirage Vest, which doesn't have particularly good defensive stats, but its innate ability to give you 1 charge of Blink, as in you absorb then or just evade the next 1 physical attack, is just extremely handy. Especially on a character like Ferris, where we don't really care too much about how much damage we do. It's just more efficient to use that instead. Also here we have a black chocobo friend. Okay, dokie. Next up, well, we just do the World 3 things, the main quest, if you will. Or, I guess you could argue it's a side quest, because you can just go into the void and start punching extra if you want to. Just a distinct possibility that we could do with this team, but we have to embark on a side quest to actually unlock the Mime job class. So we're gonna go and do that. Anyways, this is the same in song and dance as before. We're just gonna knock out these gargoyles once more. We wait until one attacks, we hit the other one, and then we just hit them again. Now that Ferris is hasted, she actually got to enchant her Spellblade and attack before they ever got to move at all. Again, haste is just insanely good. If you were already faster than the enemies beforehand, now you get 2 turns before they get to move. And again, the effect doesn't wear off, it's just permanent haste, it's crazy. In this place we also get a lot of money, so I'm gonna go ahead and actually pick up the money. No, I'm not gonna fight these guys. Or I will try to not fight these guys. Maybe I should. Honestly, I was just not gonna fight these guys because I figured they can confuse us, which is quite annoying. Maybe I should give the bone mail to Ferris in this place here, because that way she cannot be confused. And it's not like they deal that much physical damage anyways. Yeah, let's give her the bone mail. The bone mail also, you know, gives you absurdly high defenses. So I just need to remember that she has it, so we don't try to heal her accidentally. In combat at least. And as you can see, she gets to attack one of these guys before they ever get to move. And goodbye. Now the funny thing is, I just realized there's actually one ability that might be better than barehanded. Oh, she doesn't even have barehanded? Wait, I never put that onto Ferris. That's an oversight. She was supposed to deal a lot more damage if I put barehanded on her to inherit the Monk's strength. Because Monk has a lot more strength than Mystic Knight. Wait, that's a problem. We're running. These executors have a bunch of instant death attacks of sorts. I don't want to deal with them. I guess Ferris is mostly fine, but everybody else would be in danger, especially if their level is divisible by 5. Because level 5 Doom is a thing. Also, this is guarded by a random dude. I don't remember if you can break this guy or not. Let's actually see. I think when this guy dies, he calls in 2 more images. No, he cannot. But you can reliably run away from this chest encounter. And there is the other possibility for enemy. So this is kind of like a mini-boss encounter, but this guy is susceptible to being broken apart. And we get the Rising Sun. This is a boomerang type weapon, and a Mimic actually can equip that. But I don't think we're gonna be using it, so I don't really plan on attacking much with the Mime physically. Probably. I mean, we could. Oh no, the top Avis. So this is where, once again, the chicken knife's ability to run away 25% of the time is amazing. Because normally, oh, this is rare. Normally running away from this guy just naturally is extremely unlikely. I don't want to say it is the most unlikely, but it feels like it. Hey, we get a crystal helmet upgrade. You know, the mithril helmet we had since World 1? That's a little bit outdated since a while. Break. If you have some form of area effect attack to hit all of these enemies at the same time, this is a pretty good experience encounter. But we don't have anything like that. So this is either a prototype or a mecha head. Mecha head is actually desirable for our case here. Let's equip not a chicken knife, so we can enchant our weapon and attack. This is the same enemy that we encountered in the pyramid. The prototype is an enemy that you can find in World 1 on select locations on islands, which is not weak to lightning. Protect ring. This one sells for a good chunk of money. In fact, this is arguably the best weapon or accessory for our monk right now. Mug. Goodness steel. Shame. These guys have a rare steel for a Mirage Vest. Well, rare steels in this game are in fact quite rare, but you could get a Mirage Vest here. This is the Beast Killer Whip. It always deals critical damage against beasts, which, I mean, I guess could be nice. Okay, good thing our levels are not divisible by 5, otherwise we would be dead. I guess Farius is the bone now, so she would get healed instead. You know what? Sure, we're gonna fight this one, because we can just knock them out one by one. Knock out you, because you like to confuse things. Knock out you. Level 2 old. Meh. Come on, Fairies is not that old. And gain some experience. Ether, and the chest on the right contains a Dragon Fang, I think. And I believe these guys can be broken as well. They are pretty fast, they might actually be faster than Ferris gets to attack a second time. Not good enough. Oh, but apparently they have evasion. How very inconvenient. Apparently a lot of evasion. I guess they are samurai. Samurai's job class, or as a job class, has innate evasion. Alright, they can be broken too, so we're fine. Mug. We don't even get to see what the mug result is, which is a bit strange. I assume that's because it's in conjunction with the Spellblade effect. But normally it's a 40% chance to try and steal something successfully. So on the right side we can pick up an item that I usually skip. This is a circlet. The highest defense and magic power item for mages. Which means we're gonna actually equip that. We could equip the other one instead though. The gold hairpin. For halving MP cost. Break. One hit. Computed. Excellent. Then we're gonna move Ferris to the front row, give her the chicken knife, and no bone mail. Power sash for extra damage. And who would like to have... You know what? We're gonna give Lena the Hermes sandals. For extra speed and damage too. Sure, why not? That was White 6 and Summon. Oh, I didn't actually pay attention. Nice. Alrighty, this is Stalker. For Wendigo in this version of the game. And he doesn't have any particular elemental weakness, but we could put him to sleep. If we were so inclined. But we're just gonna do this the more traditional way. I'm gonna use Drain Blade instead. So, generally speaking, what you need to know about this guy is you don't want to use area of effect attacks against it because it will counterattack with Blaze 4 times up, or up to 4 times. which is a lot of ice damage, so unless you have an ice shield equipped, which we do, we would not necessarily be surviving. However, after you hit one of these guys once, and don't put them to sleep in the same hit that is, then whoever the real Wendigo is now random. Initially all of them are technically real, which is why you can just hit one of them and use your attack. But right now, don't know who's real and who's not. So we're just gonna randomly attack until we get the correct one. And repeat, he has 20,000 HP. And what I'm also going to do is White Magic, Berserk our Mystic Knight. Oh, right. Immunity carryover. Can't do that. So because we had the Bone Mail equipped in the previous battle on Ferris, this does mean she's actually still immune to all the status effects that the Bone Mail provides immunity to. That does include Berserk. So she's literally immune to Berserk right now. So I can't even have a Berserk in the attack stuff, which is a bit of a shame. Hurricane, critical HP for you. But we have two white mages supporting us, so we're fine. Random targeting would be rough. Yeah, I mean, a little bit. But I think it's more fun that way. See, your Berserker doesn't know who the real target is either way, they just randomly target regardless. So why not just have a Berserker randomly pick? Well, the reason is actually quite simple, because of course the Berserker doesn't check as to whether you already hit the target or not, so they're just randomly going to target even enemies that you know for a fact are not real right now. Anyways, shell. Nice, that was the correct guy for once. I say for once, but it's not like we've gotten that unlucky either. The Bone Mail provides immunity to instant death, confusion, blind, poison, berserk. I think that's it. It's a lot of really good immunities. But of course, the downside of the Bone Mail is normally that you can't heal your character. But now we have the benefits of the immunities from the Bone Mail from the previous battle due to the immunity carryover. This is arguably a glitch. Actually no, it is definitely not intended. But also, I would consider it to be a minor thing, so I usually allow it in my runs anyways. I wish monks always attack that quickly, rather than just punch, wait, then punch again. This is also one of those battles where I kind of would like to have regeneration on my characters, so I didn't have to manually. Heal everybody. Alright, everybody is buffed now. We could apply Blink if we wanted to, but I just don't think it's necessary. And yeah, this is the downside of Berserkers random targeting. Of course they don't really care as to... I just checked that guy, Lena. You knew technically that this was not the real deal. Right, the only target remaining at this point is the top left guy. After the next dungeon, we're gonna get a significant damage boost, even against enemies that don't have an elemental weakness with the Mystic Knight. but that's after the next one. It'll take a bit until we get there. Oops, I don't need to defend with you. Hurricane. This is why I casted Shell on everybody, because Shell does give us a high chance of resisting Hurricane. I think whenever Wendigo gets a turn, all 4 of the duplicates do the same thing. Like, all of them had a chance to cast Hurricane that turn specifically, but also all of them just had a chance to do nothing as well, because I think it's only a 1 in 3 chance for them to do anything every time they get an opportunity to do stuff. Can't escape. How annoying. I mean, I suppose what I could do is this. Because he has the Morning Star equipped, right? So he might actually deal decent damage. At least I think he has the Morning Star equipped. Turn order is sometimes a little bit funky in this encounter, because there's like hidden actors that also occasionally decide to make Wendigo move, even if he doesn't get hit. I think we should be pretty close to knocking this guy out at this point. Can you Libra these guys? I think so. I believe that's actually the real one over there right now. So I specifically want to target this guy then. So I guess Kral can figure out which one is the real one as well, by virtue of casting Libra. And then we can pinpoint specifically the fairies afterwards. Nice. Nice. I'm too lazy to cast Libra in case you're curious. We'll get there. There we go. Now the others need to get a turn, so they realize that they are dead. Alrighty. Knock them out for good. And we acquired the second tablet. Now we just need to walk all the way back outside. Woo. I guess we could use a 10 to recover Kryle's MP. So we're gonna unequip your Hermes sandals, you don't need them anymore. Move you back into the back row, you get a Magoosh in case I decide to knock out enemies. Moving on. Brick. I guess I should use the Thief's Knife. I'm not terribly worried about the damage on Fairy specifically, and the Thief's Knife would give me a chance to steal random things, which we potentially can sell for a bunch of money. Also, I think we just got one again, another one. White Magic level 6 on 2 characters. Nice. So I think it is finally time to shuffle things around a bunch. So we want to master Mystic Knight on the fairies, so the Mime is going, or Mimic is going to inherit the stats from the Mystic Knight, giving it really good attack power, HP as well as speed. But also fairies will want to be also have, well, she will also want to have White Magic at the end too. But we don't need to master the White Mage, it's just not necessary. The last ability of White Mage is, I think, MP plus 10%, or was it 20%? Basically your maximum MP is slightly increased, which I don't really care for. And inheriting the stats of the White Mage would only be beneficial for magic power, but if I use, or if I attach the ability to cast White Magic onto a character anyways, at level 6 we now gain the full magic power onto that character anyways, so it doesn't really matter. So, the alternative is also making maybe, or having somebody master the Monk Job class, which Lena would be the closest to at this point, if I want to go down that route. But in short, we don't need White Mages on Kryle and Butts anymore here. So what do we do? I think we're just going to turn you into a monk with White Magic, and this might just be the final setup for Kryle here. This might just be all she ever gets at this point. And then we're gonna turn you either into Mystic Knight, and you could become a White Mage. That way you learn more White Magic spells, because she also needs to get up to level 6 as well. Barehanded is fine. And I don't really care about learning monk stuff on you, so I guess you're gonna be a second Mystic Knight now, with level 6 White Magic. This might also be our final Mystic Knight here as well. You can have the Mirage Vest and Assassin Dagger, I guess. You get the Thief's Knife. Right, yeah, actually that's gonna work out just fine. Probably should heal though. Back attack, rude. But our Mystic Knights are so fast that it hardly matters. Preemptive Strike. Well, Ferris is going to knock this guy out before he can do anything. And mug him while she does it. I have no idea if she's successful or not, because for some reason the game doesn't tell me. We still need to run away from a bunch of encounters to power up the chicken knife to its maximum potentials anyways. So I guess this is fine. But I suppose I take some extra experience along the way. And maybe, who knows, we might find the second Mirage Vest in our inventory if we are lucky. Oh, it does tell us where we can steal or cannot steal. Wait, that guy survived. Are you undead? Yes, okay. I think he is susceptible to Pyraga Blade. But apparently they are immune to petrification, which I just learned. Oh. They're not weak to fire. And of course the Assassin Necker has a chance to immediately revive them. Anyways, this is gonna put him to 9 HP or less and throw a potion at them or something. Bit of an inconvenient encounter. Top Davis! This is where we switch over to Chicken Knife. So don't really care to fight these things at all. They don't give any experience. They have 30,000 HP. No particular weakness we can exploit to my knowledge. They're just generally a pain to take down. So we just ignore them. To the best of our ability anyways. Yaga, you didn't get Osmose. Are you skipping Osmose play? I actually forgot about it. I should go back and buy it. That's a good point. It's not like we need it, but it's just fun to have in my opinion. We could try to run as a Maggi out of MP. You thought I might decide it wasn't worth it on this team? It's absolutely superfluous. It is not necessary in any capacity. I just like having it, to be honest. I think it's fun. Alright, let's go and buy some more stuff after selling some stuff. Let's see, what can we sell? Honestly, the healing stuff at this point is just going to hurt me more than help. I'm gonna sell it. And if we want more, we can actually always go and steal more. That is an option. Sasuke's Katana sells for 10,000. Can't equip that anyways. Sell the Luminous Robe. I don't plan on using the Rising Sun. Please kill it. Sage's Miter. I don't think I'm gonna use that one. Wait, we have a Black Robe? Do I have not the Black Robe? Oh, we only have one Might Mage right now, that's right. Might as well give her the good stuff. I was wondering why it wasn't equipped, but I guess she switched over to White Mage before and I didn't think about it. Let's get a second Black Robe for our Mimic later, I suppose. Then we could buy the Black Garb. This is better defenses than what we have. But we don't really care about defenses because we have Blink for the most part, so it's fine. I guess they can still be useful, but again, it's fine. How much money do we have? 46,590. How many Hermes sandals do I want in the end? I think 4. So that means we bought 2 so far. Let's get a 3rd one. And then the last one we get in the Void Castle. So that means I do want to sell something to be able to afford them. We need 50,000 monies. There we go. And that's all the Hermes sandals we'll need. And we are flat out broke again. Yeah, I guess special is making the enemies run out of MP. It's nice, especially since it just prevents certain bosses from potentially wiping you entirely. For the low price of an additional like 5 minutes of time investment. Which arguably would be faster just bursting them down. And if you fail, you try again. Actually, I'm pretty sure we don't have to use a tent here. I'm reasonably certain we're going to get a full heal when the party splits up anyways. Alrighty, one missing knight we send up on the left and the other one on the right. Oh, he didn't get a MP heal. Huh. What happens if your cactus are knocked out then? I guess it's just not a full heal. Anyways, one character goes left, one missing knight goes left, which solves Omniscient entirely. And then I suppose we could just send everything else to the right, but it's not like the white mage can do anything on the right side, so might as well send the white mage on the left as well. Then again, the white mage is not really going to contribute either way. But do they have to? Probably not. Actually, they can cast Dispel, doubling our damage effectively, so... Right, Lena. You go left side then. Is Spell Sword considered a magic attack or a physical attack for the purpose of this dungeon? It's not an attack either way, because you don't target an enemy with it. Because you have to use a regular attack in order to hit an enemy with it. It is functionally a physical attack. It does not apply to using spells, but it applies to using, like, Mug or Rapid Fire or, well, a regular attack. And Crowd goes on the right side. Alright, the Fork Tower. The gimmick of this place is effectively that the left side is magic. If you use physical attacks against these guys, if I were to attack these guys, we would probably get our party wiped if I ever do this, because they retaliate with Meteor instantly or in Almagest. I actually have no idea what these guys in particular retaliate with, because I don't usually bother fighting them, let's put it that way. I'm just running away. I could actually give the Bone Mail over to Butts, then he would be immune against a lot of the instant death attacks and confusions they could throw at us. So that would be fun. Dispel. Rude. Let me run. But I suppose technically the magic sword ability is considered magical by itself, so you cannot actually cast it in the Minotaur boss fight. If that's what you were asking. So we won't have access to that one. Thank you. This is where it would be nice to have a reflex ring. Now funnily enough, that slow is actually oddly convenient, because reflect lasts 3 turns of your character's speed. And if you're slowed, it lasts, well, a lot longer. explode. Okay. Let me run your clones. Rude. Oh no. I definitely should have equipped the thing on you, eh? Oh, we get to run. Alright, bone mail for you. That way he cannot be confused, he cannot be berserked, he cannot be instant death. Well, time magic instant death still works. But that's a different topic. Plus it has super low accuracy, it's like 50% baseline. Wonder Wand! We actually can't equip that one. Well, actually it's not true. No, mine can equip it. We're fine. We will be able to use that thing technically. Well, I'm not entirely sure whether it's going to be useful. I guess for resetting encounters. Yeah, I guess that's useful, technically. Move you to the front row. I guess you can move to the front row too. Because you have barehanded. So that's gonna be helpful. Oops, don't unequip that. Protecting is fine. How do we set up on the left side? We could put the Hermes sandals on the right side exclusively. Which I think I will in the end. Mirage Vest for you. Elemental for you. And you're fine. So the right side is physical. I actually can attack enemies with the chicken knife and try to run away here. Although I think the dual knights in the dueling knight specifically, the bottom right guy in this encounter, will actually counterattack. By the way, two chests I skipped in the left and right tower. One of them contains an ether, the other one is a high potion. So not really worth going out of your way for. Then we have one of my favorite weapons, the Defender Sword. 25% chance to block physical attacks, and it casts Protect when used as an item, so if you don't have a white mage or a red mage to cast Protect, it's amazing. The problem is, it's a knight exclusive sword, so Mystic Knight cannot equip it. Alrighty, so we want to probably have Hermes sandals on you. For extra speed, so you can be supporting Ferris, who's gonna deal the damage. And I think that's everything there. Alrighty. The story goes that you need to grab both of the treasures at the same time, otherwise the tower explodes. Although funnily enough, it explodes at the end anyways. Anyways, we cannot cast any spells. Basically, the mute spell from the Time Mage is cast at the beginning of the battle, so we can never cast any spells, so we cannot even use the Rain Blade. It's a bit of a shame, but this guy has 20,000 HP, he absorbs wholly as healing, and he has, I think, a 2 in 3 chance to counterattack whenever we physically attack. He also has, however, 0 physical defense. Also, we can rearrange our fists from left to right to reactivate the Mirage Vest. Just equip your left hand on the right hand to get your Mirage Vest proc back. Anyways, because the game needs to recalculate what kind of defenses and absorption and whatever effects you have whenever you switch your weapon around, let's say you equip a flame shield, the game needs to recalibrate and figure out what kind of immunities and absorptions you have, so it recalculates everything from all equipment pieces instead of just the weapons. This means the Mirage Vest normally only lasts for a single use of image. Absorbs 1 physical attack and that's it. However, due to us rearranging our inventory, the game recalculates the inventory equipment items and, well, Mirage Vest gets reapplied because of it. Probably not an intended effect, but as mentioned before, it's kind of also one of these, what I would consider minor glitches. Very helpful. By the way, this guy has 20,000 HP. And again, no physical defense at all. So we whack him decently well. But of course, he also whacks us decently well back. If you equip the Defender Sword and cast Protect with it, you actually can do that in this battle, despite not being able to cast spells normally. If we had less HP, we could actually put Ferris into the back row. Sure, we would deal half damage, but any counterattacks and such would also deal half damage. So it would be fine. By the way, again, you don't need to rearrange specifically your weapons at all. You can rearrange anything in your inventory and it will count for the purposes of recalculating your equipment. Because the game doesn't check what exactly you are rearranging. It just sees, oh, you could potentially have equipped a new shield or weapon, so it needs to check for your stuff again. It's just kind of funny that you can switch nothing with nothing and that counts as well for it recalculating things. The monk is just switching stances between southpaw and orthodox fighting styles. Nice. I could theoretically unequip the chicken knife here, so we have it available in the other battle on the other side. But it's fine, we have an assassin dagger over there. Also, once again, because monks attack twice, they also trigger potentially 2 counterattacks, which means I don't want to actually attack with a monk, even though the enemy has 0 physical defense, which is kind of where the monk would discharge really good damage. Anyways, this battle here is Omniscient. He is a big mage. So there's 2 ways we could handle this guy right now. One is we can use Silence Blade, which is what I'm doing, because he's susceptible to being muted. And anytime you attack him with physical attacks, he will try to cast Return, returning you to the beginning of the battle. Like literally, it's as if the battle just started again if he casts that. Which is a little bit annoying, not gonna lie. But funnily enough, he could also be berserked if you were to go down that route, if you'd like to. But Omniscient hits like a truck, like his physical attacks are actually absurdly strong, let's put it this way. So you kind of want to be careful of that. However, we also have Blink, so we don't necessarily need to worry about the physical attacks, we just need to keep up Blink. However, this way, we don't need to worry about any of this. He also has an innate Shell Protect and Regeneration status, I think. Which means I can dispel that one. Unlike the player's innate statuses, the innate statuses from enemies actually go away when you use Dispel on them. At least I think they do. Does that mean you can dispel a Reflect Mage in next Death Castle and he's just gonna knock himself out? I've never tried that before. Hey Richter say, thank you for the good luck and welcome, hope you're doing well today. You can technically get this spell in Next Death Castle by getting a rare steel from the Black Warlocks. But you need a thief for that. And a character that can equip the weapon afterwards. Anyways, this guy is like almost 18,000 HP or something like that. He is weak to wind, for what it's worth. But yeah, we're gonna win here. I could attack with Lena, but it's fine. I'm pretty sure just straight up waiting is more efficient for time, or real time. Even if it's more in-game turns. He also would cast Flare as a death counter, plus once he gets drops below 4000 HP remaining, he will cast Blizzaga, Firaga and Thundaga, dealing a good chunk of damage here. Well, if you let him anyways. 15. Welcome back. By the way, once again, everybody, please make sure to vote in the straw poll as to what you would like to see next played on stream. I feel like mystery games next, so that's kind of why the list mostly contains mystery type games. Exploration, Metroidvanias of sorts, and overall games that I've looked at in the past, found very intriguing, and just wanted to play them sometime. It's kind of funny. There's absolutely no reason to save right there. But it's just a force of habit. I go past a save point, so I save, but then I move on afterwards. It's just what you do. Alrighty, we have our airship. We can go into the water now. And if you remember, at the beginning of the game, when we grabbed the water crystal, the tower of walls sank into the water. Don't ask me where that was, because I don't remember. I think it's to the east over here somewhere. A good question. I think it's around here. Maybe. I don't remember where it is exactly, but that tower on the water is still on the water there. And it's a very peculiar kind of place that we can visit. Oh, it's actually right here, I was correct. And this is the underwater tower of walls. So, thankfully, our characters are absolutely crazy amazing to be able to hold their breath for a grand total of 7 minutes while we descend down the tower into the water. Which is pretty amazingly crazy. There's also a variety of random enemies in here that are just like darkened. Like you can still recognize what they are to an extent. And I think they are technically like the original enemies from those places. Although I'm actually not entirely sure how these enemies work. Are they literally just dark versions and just strange encounter sets, or what it is? I don't really know. Also, prototype enemy of sorts. Or maybe it's a machine head? I don't know. Lots of strange creatures. Also, one of the chests you might have noticed was actually closed. If you open that one, I think you get an air refill. But here, we find this thing. It has taken the first 2 acts, but now the amazing power of this crystal shard is within my competent grasp. I shan't allow you to take it, so turn back and be gone. No. Tit tit tit, then let the curtain rise. This is Gogo. My name is Gogo, my name is Gogo. Mimic extraordinaire. The basis, no, the very soul of mimicry is the ability to aptly imitate anything, no matter the situation. Thusly, I will imitate your every move. When you attack, I will attack. When you cast a spell, I'll cast a spell. Could you imitate me, you'd certainly win. More likely, it will be curtains for you. So this guy is extremely strong. I've actually never battled him the normal way, to be completely honest. So the very first time I played through this game was in the Forge of Fiesta, and I had no idea what this thing was about. So with the text in the Super Nintendo version, it kind of sounded more like, you need to imitate exactly what I do in order to defeat me. So I was just kind of really tensely sitting here, waiting for him to take a move, for him to do anything. And I was ready to use an item, to cast a spell, whatever he was doing. I was gonna try and imitate it as closely as possible. But it turns out you just imitate him doing nothing by doing nothing yourself. And that's the solution. Like, I was just sitting here, very tense, ready to do anything. Then I didn't need to do anything. I think he counterattacks and has like stuff like Meteor and such. You can straight up defeat him, it is a possibility. But again, I've never done that before. Plus, of course, you have that timer ticking down in the bottom left, so you might think, oh my god, I'm running out of time. Especially if you've actually been fighting enemies beforehand and have a lot less time total. What's his name, by the way? Faint Mimic Gogo is his actual name. Defending doesn't change anything though, aside from wasting functionally turn timers. He's nasty if you try to hurt him? Yeah. You're trying to get BGC to add beating Gogo as a Fiesta incentive? Oh boy. That is actually a worthy incentive, I will say. You see me doing nothing, or copying that nothing yourselves. Rather, you're doing perfectly nothing. Perfectly. Yes, you feel it's the essence of mimicry. I give you my blessing to continue on the true path of imitation. Adieu, break a leg. Only if you break a leg too, right? To the rift. And we gain the mime. So now we have all of our job classes unlocked just about 10 hours in, which means you're gonna become a mime. Now the mime is a really weird class. We're gonna talk about it after I get out of here because my timer is running out. The Mimic is really weird, because you know the Freelancer class inherits all the stats, or like the highest level stats from all of the job classes you have mastered. So if you master Monk, you get really high attack power and vitality. If you master Thief, you get the highest speed, etc. And also you inherit all of the passive traits from the various classes. If you master Mystic Knight, you get the passive for Magic Shell, giving you a chance to get Shell when you get knocked to critical HP. If you master Samurai, you get the innate evasion ability. If you master Monk, you get the innate ability to counter attacks. Basically, just a bunch of things you gain innately. Mimic is similar to a Freelancer, but a bit different in 2 ways. One, normally you only have 2 ability slots, because it is your first ability, it is your second ability, and then the third thing is normally your item command. However, the Mimic's innate ability is Mimic. And then you need to attach the item command manually if you actually want to use items on your character with a Mimic, or with a Mime. But conversely, this allows you to have a character that can use 3 slots. So you can put double grip to wield weapons with 2 hands, plus aim or rapid fire, plus something else in order to get like crazy combinations. The downside is, unlike Freelancer, Mime is very limited in what they can equip. They can equip daggers, rods, staves, and shields, which is very limiting. And also, I think they are mostly like light armor, so it's probably supposed to be more for spellcasting classes. Like if you say have red mages dual cast and then equip time magic plus black magic, then you can dual cast both time magic and black magic spells. Probably. I actually don't know if you can dual cast those spells. Hey, happy Wednesday to you as well, Vagabond Azulian. Hope you're doing well today. Not giving him barehanded, or did he Master Monk already? I'm not giving him anything, I was just explaining things. I actually don't know what I'm gonna do. No idea. Well, I gave him white magic, I guess. So, up is Mimic, left is white magic, right I guess is Spellblade. Yeah, level 5 Spellblade is pretty good. We don't get Flare Blade with you right now, but that's okay. Also, he hasn't mastered any subclasses, so his stats are just baseline. And items are always useful. Then again, Spellblade does nothing if I can't attack anyways. I guess barehanded is better. But barehanded doesn't do anything if I can't attack. That's kind of funny. I can't attack unless I equip an attack command. I guess we have white magic. Unless I don't use items. I guess we can attack at the bottom with you. Spellblade will be probably the most useful one, but we do need an attack. That's so weird that you have to equip your attack ability to, you know, attack. Oh yeah, we can equip the Thieves' Gloves on you. Also shields on the Mime are very nice as well. You have 38 strength. Why? Oh, because I put the Mystic Knight stuff on you that inherits the Mystic Knight strength. Alrighty. This team's synergies are truly a mess. There's not really much of a synergy going on. It's just 2 very powerful classes with Mystic Knight and White Mage just doing their own thing individually, with not much overlap or synergy between the 2 classes, aside from them just being really good on their own individually. But yeah, we have Mimic now. So, we could go into the trench if we want to, but we also really don't have a reason to do that. History, we could pick up an Aegis Shield, which honestly would be very nice. I think we pick up an Aegis Shield. But also, I think I'm... So, I don't know if you know this, but I've been struggling to stay awake for the last hour or so. I figured this would pass, but I'm still sleepy. The last few days, unfortunately, I did not get much sleep for a variety of reasons. There's not like one single thing that's a thing. But basically, I think I'm gonna take it easy for today. I was gonna finish this run today. I absolutely could. We have a strong team. We can finish this. But it's fine. We're gonna go to history next time. So everybody, sorry for the shorter streams recently. I was trying my best, but sometimes my best is going to bed. And I think that's okay. Alright. We're gonna continue this next time, and maybe if we end particularly early, we might start the next game that you vote for in the straw poll in chat right now. Let me actually put this into the YouTube chat as well, just in case anybody's over there, in case you would like to vote on the straw poll for what I'm gonna be playing next. I'm feeling like a mystery adventure, Metroidvania kind of thing right now, so that's what is on the list. I suppose Might and Magic isn't really Metroidvania, but it is an adventure. And Might and Magic X, like the bones when I originally played it when it was released, felt pretty decent, but I thought the game was not done yet because it was such a buggy mess. So I never actually continued playing, waiting for it to get updated. And I don't know if it did. Alrighty everybody, that's that for now. Thank you so much for watching, thank you so much for listening and for lurking. I hope you enjoyed your stay, I hope you enjoyed being around, and well, hopefully until next time, take care and have a good night. Bye bye. Oh, actually, before I go, let me introduce to you everybody somebody I respect greatly. Adam Learns Live is currently making a game on stream, streaming the entire process, and let me put it this way, his what's the word? He released a game, Skeleseller, which is kinda neat, I liked it. And he's now on his next adventure for a game, and he has such amazing discipline to stick to actually making and creating things. It is crazy impressive to me. So maybe you enjoy your stay over there too. Maybe a little bit of something different. Making games is an art and really, really difficult. I like him as a person, so maybe you enjoy it too. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.